What's going on, guys? What is going on? Today we're going to be talking about something that a lot of you in that comment section are going to completely speak out about. We're going to be talking about an acquisition, something that I feel like would benefit Xbox. And I know some of you hate that shit. Some of you go in there with the most craziest hot takes just because I think a studio would work well with Microsoft and Xbox and they would actually benefit from buying that. I don't know. Maybe some of you think that after the Activision and the Bethesda deal that it's a possibility. You don't want any kind of content creators, any podcasters, any streamers. You don't want none of them talking about Microsoft and Xbox buying studios because they might listen. Today, we're going to be talking about a studio that actually means a lot to me, something that they made a game that I really loved. And, you know, currently the studio is going through some rough times, and I don't want this studio to go under because if this studio goes under, I think the odds of the game that I enjoy that they made is going to be less likely to be made, a sequel to. You know, think of it something like Killer Instinct. You know, the studio that made the Killer Instinct, the later half of Killer Instinct, they left, and Microsoft had a hard time finding someone to replace it. And I feel like Killer Instinct actually has a lot more to offer than this particular game that they made for me. What studio am I talking about? I'm talking about Creative Assembly. Colabro said, could Xbox please save the studio and let them work on Halo Wars 3? This studio made Halo Wars 3, and they stopped working on Halo Wars 3. They make a lot of good games, to be honest with you. You know, I understand people, they don't want Microsoft buying any more studios because they feel like right now there's got to be a little bit more time for them to, you know, get accommodated and learn how to use these. But I think the reason I'm pushing for Creative Assembly is because I think that this particular studio, they made Halo Wars 2. And I personally believe the Halo Wars 3 deserves a shot because of how well it was received. My brother plays that game religiously, 3v3s, and still finds matches to this day. So clearly there's still an audience for that game. You know, I think a newer iteration, a new game in general would reiterate and it would get a lot more people trying the game. Look, this studio, they make strategy games. And let's be real here, that is a thing that Microsoft has, but they need more of. You know, they got the you know, Halo Wars 2, obviously. Then they got Age of Empire. But besides that, that's all they really got, you know, in Gears Tactics. I think that this studio would be very good to buy because it would really help them push out those games faster. You know, they make Halo Wars 2. They can help, you know, Relic, I think, make Age of Empire. They can make their own thing. You know, maybe they can take on the Gears franchise, the Gears Tactics franchise. Maybe they can do a Gears Tactics franchise with an RTS. Keep in mind, they still have Total War. I believe that's made by Creative Assembly. So they can continue that franchise. Microsoft wants more of an audience on PC, and this is like one of the perfect studios to do it because I feel like right now, if you're Xbox, you're looking for studios that you can buy that can actually hit multiple areas for you. And I feel like this particular studio can get you a PC audience and get you an Xbox audience because they can make games to come over to PC. All their games going to be on Xbox? I would hope so because I do feel like most of the way they make games, they can definitely port to the Xbox brand. But to me, this is more about the PC audience. It's like, look, if you want to grow in the PC audience, you need games to come to your ecosystem and to come to you that are made for PC gamers. But I will say this. If a game is being able to work on an Xbox, I want it on an Xbox. Gears Tactics frustrates me to no end because that game could easily work on Xbox, but they decided to make it a PC exclusive for some reason. That irritates me. It irritates me greatly. And I think this particular game is the reason that I'm really pushing for it is because Halo Wars 2 was a loved game and a lot of people enjoyed it. And it's just like, what's the point in screaming, you know, diversity in genre, screaming that you could take more risk on smaller IP, smaller titles. But then when something like Halo Wars 2, Halo Wars 3 comes up, then you just don't do that. You know, you got to really back some of the claims that you say Xbox, and Halo Wars 3 is a beloved game. Now, sure, is it a niche audience? Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Are you going to make a crap ton of money? Probably not, unless you're able to successfully merge that with some kind of microtransaction for a multiplayer. I think you can easily incorporate it back into the Halo franchise like you did Halo Wars 2, Halo Wars 1. You know, they eventually put them together from the older ones, the first-person shooter Halos. I think this is a perfect thing that you could do. Now, if you don't want to go the Halo Wars direction, you can go the XCOM direction. I'm sure Creative Assembly got some very talented individuals in that studio that can easily do a Gears Tactics style game for Halo. But I would enjoy a Halo Wars 3 and, you know, maybe make it more like Civilization. I don't know. But all I know is Microsoft, you got to be better when it comes to diversity. I feel like Creative Assembly, the reason I'm really wanting them to at least step in and stop this studio, because they're not doing the greatest, clearly. So it's just like, if you wait for the right moment, there might not be a right moment. It might just completely spiral out of control. And that's the key reason I'm here. That's the reason I'm making this video. Halo Wars 2 deserves a sequel. It was a fantastic game that set up the events for Halo Infinite. Sure, Halo Infinite was underwhelming to a lot of people, and I'm not going to sit here and deny that. I'm not going to fight you guys on that. I know there's going to be people in the comment section below that ain't feeling this. They're going to be in there saying, Addict, why are you saying for them to buy more studios? Addict, they need to just work on the stuff they have now. Addict, they have no games. Why are you encouraging them to do this? I'm encouraging them to do this because not only one, will it save a studio such as Creative Assembly from going away, because we have too many of that going on. Two, they would be able to continue a game known as Halo Wars 2 that a lot of people love. Like I said, they can imagine it. There's so many things they can do. And they could be a support studio as well if they had to. You know, maybe half the team makes a game like Halo Wars and half the team supports the other Xbox studios. All I know is one thing. If Microsoft stepped in and purchased Creative Assembly, just one studio, I would say that wouldn't cost them that much money. They would be able to continue a franchise that a lot of people do love. And I don't want a moment where we get 2-3 years down the line, like we have in Killer Instinct for 5, where Microsoft regrets what they did. Because now they want to do something with Halo Wars, because let's say whatever happens next with Halo ends up getting the Halo brand on cue and on point. And then guess what happens? They end up not having a developer because they let Creative Assembly go out of business 5 years ago. That's my worry. My worry is they're going to want to do it, but it's going to be too late. I don't want that. Let's move on it now. That's just my honest opinion. This is a me thing. This is an Addict thing. I know a lot of you probably don't even care about turn-based games or strategy games, and that's fine. But to me, Creative Assembly is worth saving. That's just the bottom line. Put in the comment section below if you guys think I'm crazy. I get it. You know, maybe this isn't the right name. This is more of me just wanting them to save the Halo Wars franchise. I don't even know if they ever want to do anything with it. I've been told no, but like I said, stuff changes. The landscaping in the industry changes all the time, and I don't want them to change their mind down the future and they have nothing to show for it because Creative Assembly's gone, when I do feel like Creative Assembly can work in multiple areas, not just Halo Wars. But anyway, put in the comment section below what you guys think about Creative Assembly and Halo Wars 2. I get it. Some of you don't like it, but that's fine. It'll go on Game Pass. You won't have to pay for it. Put in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace.